Hello everyone, it's Eric Kennedy coming to you today from the beautiful and state-of-the-art teaching facility here at Overbrook Golf Club. I am joined today by my assistant Brent Wallace. You may know him better as the Flight Scope Virtuoso. We are talking today about an exciting new product called Laser Putt. Laser Putt was developed by a friend of mine named Robert in Canada, and we think that it does a really good job with the two parts of putting that I think we all need to improve upon, which is our distance control and obviously our accuracy. Today we're going to go through both of those and how Brent and I use that in our instruction, and hopefully it can help you with your putting. So stay tuned. All right, the first step with laser putt is to calibrate the putter. So you affix the laser to the shaft, and at that point you turn on the green laser. And we're basically trying to calibrate, as you can see, the green line.
Just run it right down the white line.
Right down the white line, as you can see. Now, there's a secondary laser as well that we will use in a couple different functions, one of which is for distance control, and the other is for visualization on the line. But once the putter, you can see the laser is affixed to the putter and calibrated for the shaft, you're able to start using it. And what we're going to show you next is a couple different drills on how we use it. So the first thing we're going to show you is after affixing it to the average player, we're going to show you a couple different things that became very, very apparent in people's strokes. One is that they had a very tough time aligning themselves to any target that they chose. So clearly, putting is all about setting up to a specific line and then starting the ball on that line. Most people have trouble with the first part, which means they're really going to have trouble with the second part. The second thing is a couple different misconceptions, one of which is that the putter opens up screen door style a lot and closes screen door style a lot. And I think that's a bit of a misconception. Brent, go ahead and make a couple strokes. As you can see, Brent's putter stays pretty square to any intended line. So if this was Brent's intended line to practice on, he can basically groove that spot right there. And we can't think of any reason why that putter green line would swing out to the right on the way back and then flash past that tee and go left. Nor can we see any conscious manipulation to try to keep the putter square, which tends to look like this, closed to open. Again, if we know that at 3 feet we want the laser pointing directly at our target, it doesn't seem to make any sense why we would want it varying very far off of that line at any point. So what we found is the players with the best strokes tend to have very little deviation away from their intended line. So if we start at 3 feet, you can see that Brent's stroke stays pretty consistent. As his stroke gets a little bit longer, the putter does swing to the inside a little bit and starts opening a little bit, but you're going to notice that ultimately it's still passing through that exact same channel. Whether you have a 3-foot putt or a 60-foot putt, it's kind of irrelevant. You still need to go through the same channel. So the idea is if you can groove that type of stroke with a very little manipulation of the hands or twisting of the shafts, you can be much, much more consistent. All right, as we move back a little further, obviously it's a very tight tolerance on 3-footers. So we've got a slightly larger tolerance on this 8-footer, about the width of a putter head. But Brent, take a couple strokes back, and what we're looking at is that the putter does not, at any point, does the laser veer outside of our channel. If this was a 60-foot putt, it'd be the exact same thing. This putt breaks slightly to the right. Another thing that you'll notice, if you were to see that stroke again, is that the laser putt is very, very sensitive for off-center hits. Very, very important. If you were to work on your stroke and ultimately be able to set up to an intended line, which you'll notice here, go ahead and hit a putt, Brent, is if he hits this ball slightly on the toe.
I'm going to hit toe it?
Toe it, yep. You can see how that thing, not only does he lose a lot of distance, but you can see that laser jump to the right. A little on the heel that time. So a couple things that we've noticed is getting the putter lined up to your intended target, unbelievably important. Varying off of that intended target by a lot doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. All right, in our next section, we're going to talk about breaking putts. One of the things that that is very common among amateurs is misreading putts, not playing enough break. Right now, we're on about a 3 or 4 degree slope. One of the things we're going to talk about is being committed to a specific line, starting the ball on the line, and noticing how laser putt can really help you with that. So on this particular putt, it's about a 3 degree slope. We're playing this ball about 3 inches out on the right-hand side, and Brent's going to hit a couple putts. The first thing you're going to notice is he has intermediate target. The red laser is basically dead hole high at his intermediate target. You're going to see that the goal with really any of these putts is to start the ball as if it's a straight putt and let gravity do the rest. Pretty good. And as you can notice, Brent, give us some examples of a stroke that maybe varies a lot, especially on a putt like this, maybe opens. Can see it's a little more difficult to handle, but you can see that as the putter goes back, the laser points well right of his intended target, finishes well left of the intended target. Now, how about you play not enough break? This is pretty common among amateurs, right? So they don't play enough break, and then they simply try to manipulate the stroke so that it works. Again, difficult way to putt, and you can see on the green line that it's not pointing to his intended target. Go back to your intended target now. Now his goal now is to try to keep that line pretty consistent throughout his stroke. Really good. All right. Another great aspect of laser putt is your ability for distance control. The second laser, the red dot, as you can see here, can be used to calibrate the length of your stroke. Along with the help of a metronome, you can get unbelievably consistent when it comes to distance control. So I'm going to turn on Brent's metronome here, and he's going to make a few strokes. And what he's basically trying to do is get that red dot to come right back to the ball, and then get on the second beat, he's trying to make contact with the ball. Keep going. All right. And as you can see, his distance control is outstanding. One of the amazing things about the tempo of a putting stroke is it rarely varies. It's still the same ratio regardless of the length of the putt. So Brent's going to go a little bit longer here, but he's still going to try to get the red dot to come back to the ball and still get the putter to hit the ball on the second beat. As you can see, it's a fantastic device for distance control. So that's just a couple of things you can do using the laser putt. I think it's a fantastic teaching tool. It's very inexpensive. You can get a lot of great information from Sam Putt Labs and Tommy's, but for $149, you're not going to get a whole lot of much better information than that. What do you think, Brent? Something we could use almost on a daily basis?
Absolutely.
Great. If you have any questions on this or would like to come see us, it's Eric Kennedy and Brent Wallace at Overbrook Golf Club. Thanks.